Hi everyone. For this video, we are going to honor the people in our community that are basically keeping everything running and going and afloat. And they are our essential workers, our heroes of our community. And we're not limited to these 5. There's so many. I could make like a huge long mural of them, but I tried to narrow it down to 5. But we have our grocery store workers, we have our doctors and our nurses, we have any of our mail carriers, delivery people, Postal Service, UPS, FedEx, Amazon. We have our firefighters, our police officers, and of course there's lots of others. I did one with marker and they're all girls or women, and I did one with crayons and they're all men, but the same idea. And you'll be able to choose whether you want yours to be male or female, meaning a man or a woman or a boy or a girl. And you also can choose, you could do just one of them if you want. Like maybe you just want to do the firefighter, totally fine. Maybe you want to do all 5 of them like I did, that's totally fine. I guess technically I actually did 10 of them, but how many you do and which ones you choose are up to you. If you want to do another kind of essential worker that's not on this video, you can. All you have to do is draw the basic person with their face and their hair and their body, and then you just change what they're wearing and what they're holding. For example, our mail person is holding a piece of mail in a mail bag. Our doctor or nurse is holding a clipboard. Our grocery store worker has an apron on, things like that. So I'm going to change the camera angle and let's get to work. Alright guys, so for this one we are going to draw a police officer. I've got my paper going up and down, and I'm going to start right in the middle. And the first thing that I'm going to draw is a little oval that's kind of laying on its side right here in the middle of the page. Now mine's a little off center, that's no biggie. If you consider yours, it'd probably be for the best. And then on each side, I'm going to draw a circle. And notice I am drawing with a pencil. And these are going to be the eyes, by the way. Then I'm going to draw a little kind of half circle inside each of those. Eventually, when we get to the Sharpie step, we'll color that in dark, kind of like the anime eyes. Okay? Then, now if you want to do a girl, you could add little eyelashes. If you want it to be a boy, I would leave it without eyelashes. It's up to you. Be either way. Then we're going to add a little smile. Okay. And then we're going to add the little end of the mouth here. And then it's going to be open just a little bit. And when we do the Sharpie, again, we'll color this in dark. So now it looks like they're smiling and their mouth is just a little open. Then for the shape of the head, we're going to draw a U like that. Okay, and so hopefully you can kind of see the shape forming there. Just fix it, looks like he had a little sharp point to him there. Okay, then we're going to draw the ears on each side. You're going to have kind of like a letter C, and then over here across backwards C. Okay, so again you see the face forming. Now I'm going to take these 2 lines here and I'm going to bring them up a little taller so it goes above the eyes. Okay, and again it's a little challenging because I'm having to draw to the side. My body's actually over here. Luckily you won't have that issue, but if mine seems lopsided, that's why. Okay, now we're going to draw a line that goes across and connects these 2. And this is going to become his hat, his or her hat, either one. Oops, sorry, I hit the camera. So I'm going to make a curved line right there. That is going to be for the visor of the hat. And then I'm going to bring the lines up on the sides again a little more. And I'm going to draw another line connecting them. Okay, and it looks kind of funny right now, but hang with me. I'm going to start right over here, kind of under the brim on the side, and I have a little line coming out. And I do the same thing on the other side. This one comes out a little too much, so I'm going to try to fix that real quick. Again, it's really awkward kind of drawing over to the side like that. All right, now I'm going to go back over here and I'm going to have a line that goes in and up at an angle. Okay. All right, now we're going to find the center of his or her face with the mouth and the nose, and we're going to go up, staying in the center, up, above these, and make a little dot. Okay, and you may or may not be able to see that depending how well the camera's catching it and how good your eyesight is. But then we connect it, and so we have the top shape of his or her hat. It looks so cute so far. All right, now we're going to add the little doohickey that they have. It looks kind of like an emblem or a badge for the police officer. And it's kind of like a rounded V. Okay. And then it's going to come out, almost like it's reaching out, and then back in, and then connect it. And it's kind of like that badge shape. Okay. Now we're going to move on to the body. Okay, so like I said, we're moving on to the body, and we're going to draw, it's going to look kind of funny at first, but we're going to make just 2 lines that come straight down from his body. And at first it looks really funny. It looks like, you know, when someone really, really young, like preschool, is drawing someone and they have just legs and arms coming out of their head. But hang with me, and we're going to make it look a little more like what it's supposed to look like. So next we're going to add a belt. So I'm going to make a line here and another one right above it, just like it, and then a little belt buckle right in the middle. Okay. Then we're going to add a tie. Police officers are typically wearing a tie as part of their uniform. I think, I'm pretty sure. I'm not exactly a police officer expert or anything. All right, so now he has his little tie. So cute. All right, and then let's give him or her a collar. And whether your police officer is a man or a woman, all of this is the same. The only thing that will be different is the eyes and the hair. All right, now I'm going to draw a little pocket for their uniform. And I'm going to add a little line here. It's part of that pocket. Same thing over here. And a little line again. Okay. And then we're going to add a little badge just above the pocket. Okay. So I'm going to make a little rounded V, kind of like we did on the hat. And then I'm just going to make it a little more simple and just close it at the top. Now down here, we're going to make this look a little more like pants or shorts. And then just have a V there. And then close off the bottom of it. Okay, I accidentally made a little mark here. And then we're going to have his little shoes coming out. Ooh, that shoe's kind of big. I'm trying to fix that a bit there. Okay. All right, and then arms are next. We're going to make a line coming down at an angle here and here. And like I said, but with the legs, it looks funny at first, but hang with me. Gonna make a line here. And then there's a little line coming down here. Now, depending on the angle, it's possible you might not even need this little line here because it might be so close to the body that it looks like it's right there. And if that's the case, there's no problem at all. I'm going to draw a little line here. It's part of the, like the cuff for his shirt or her shirt. And a little hand here. Both sides, of course. Oh, and they are so adorable. And be sure you get the little cuff on this side as well. All right, so for the next step, we are going to Sharpie with a black Sharpie. Oh, actually, hang on. I just realized something I forgot. Hair. So, right here. Now, if you want your police officer to be a man, this is where you would stop, right here, okay? If you want it to be a woman, now first of all, let me fix their eyes here. Okay, for a woman, you would want some cute little eyelashes there. She would still have her hair here, but she would probably have a cute little ponytail kind of coming down on the side, or even maybe on both sides. All right, and then that way you can tell if it's a man or a woman, because of course police officers come in both shapes. All right, so now we're going to do the black Sharpie. Okay, so just like we do in the art room, we're going to trace over all of our pencil with the black Sharpie. And just like I've told you a gazillion times before, your goal is to cover up and hide the pencil. Any pencil you can still see after you do the Sharpie, you want to take an eraser and you want to erase it, okay? Now, the only thing that we're not just tracing over a pencil line is a couple of things. Remember, that's the brim of the hat. That's not hair. This is hair. The ears, the nose, the mouth. Now notice I can do this kind of quickly because I've been doing it a very long time, longer than I care to say. For you, you'll probably have to move a little slower to avoid mistakes. I'm going to trace over all the pencil lines, and then I'll show you the two things I was talking about that are more than just tracing over a line. You probably already have an idea of what it is, but I will still show you. And of course, at this time, you should have a black Sharpie in your hands, or at least a marker or a pen or something. And you're tracing over all these items. Unless you prefer to just watch me and then come back and do it on your own. Obviously, that's up to you, depending on how much time you want to spend. Okay, so now I've traced over all the pencil. I do still see a little bit of pencil here and there, and I can take an eraser and erase any pencil that I either missed or it's still peeking out. All right, now the two things I'm going to color in is, ooh, I see a little pencil on the tie there. Okay, number one are the eyes, remember? Okay. And then this part of her mouth, or his mouth, depending on what you're doing. All right, oh, she's adorable. If I do say so myself. Okay, now the next step is coloring. Okay, So first we're going to start out coloring her skin. Now if we were at school, as you guys know, we have our multicultural crayons that we use that have all the different skin color tones for all the different kinds of people in the world. Unfortunately, they are all at school. I went to Target yesterday hoping they would have some, but they didn't. So I just went ahead and I bought the biggest box of Crayolas that they have. And these don't specifically have the multicultural crayons in them, but they do have different shades of brown, tan, peach, things like that. So I just went through the set and I pulled them all out, and it's almost like the multicultural set. This one is burnt sienna, brown, tumbleweed, sepia, tan, peach, apricot, and chestnut. All right, now just kind of on a whim here, I think I'm gonna do burnt sienna. Okay. All right, now I'm gonna color her skin. Now remember, when we're coloring, choose a direction and stick with it. Okay. I'm not going to color over stuff, with the exception of her nose here and maybe her mouth, but I'm not going to color over her eyes. Now, why would I not want to color over her eyes? If you said it's because we need that to stay white, you are correct. And I accidentally got a little bit in there. Now, I told you this in one of the other videos. Sometimes you'll luck out and you can erase the crayon a bit. And that kind of made it go away. But notice how I picked a direction. I chose side to side. I'm sticking with it. I'm trying to kind of keep it even. You don't want some places on her face to look lighter and darker necessarily. Unless you're trying to pretend like there's, you know, a shadow on her face or something. You would also need to color her ears and her neck and her hands. Okay. You wouldn't have anything here because she's wearing pants and shoes. That's her hair. Remember, this is the brim of the hat, and again her hair. So there, that takes care of her skin. Okay, so I'm choosing to color everything else with markers. Now, you don't have to use markers. You could use crayons, colored pencils, markers, Sharpies, whatever it is that you have. I'm just choosing, it's my personal choice. I'm gonna color the little badge areas and her belt buckle in yellow. And so this was her badge and her little belt buckle. And so that is all the yellow parts. Then I'm gonna color her hair. And again, choose a direction, stick with it, try to color neat. And she is just so darn adorable. Drawing the picture of the police officer reminds me of our campus officers that we have at school and how they keep us nice and safe. Hope they're all doing well since we can't see them or talk to them right now. Okay, now I am going to continue coloring, but I'm also going to hit fast forward so that you don't have to sit here and watch me color all day long. But I just realized a pretty large mistake I made. I colored the tie like it was her neck, but it is a tie. So I'm going to color that in with my black Sharpie. I'm also going to color her belt in, besides the yellow, of course, with my black Sharpie. And I'm going to color her shoes in with my black Sharpie. And I'm going to color one other thing in with my black Sharpie. I'm curious if you can figure out what it is. It is the brim of her hat. Because I don't know if you've ever seen these hats up close. They're kind of this, I'm not even sure what kind of material they're made out of, but it's kind of a harder, almost plasticky leather type of thing. So we want the black on this part of her hat to be just a teeny tiny bit different than the black on the rest of her hat. And I left just an eensy weensy bit of white on there, just kind of almost like the light's reflecting on it. Okay, now back to what I was saying before, where I'm going to color it, and I'm going to fast forward coloring now. Okay, so now you can see that she's done. I made a couple of mistakes, like I accidentally got some blue on her little badge there, but that's not the end of the world. But other than that, she looks really cute. I love her. And so if you have someone in your life that is a police officer, maybe you could give this to them or take a picture of it and post it somewhere for them. Anything along those lines. But be sure you take the time to show your appreciation. For example, for me, I appreciate all of our Mansfield Police Department. I think we have the best police department ever. But I especially appreciate the ones that take the time to come and work at our school and keep us safe on their days off. Because I don't know if you guys realize that. They do that on their days off. They come to keep us safe. So I really appreciate it, our regulars and our ones that come just every once in a while. But we appreciate each and every one of you. And thank you so much. Okay, now we're moving on to a firefighter, and as you see, I have my pencil again. We're going to start off right in the middle of our paper, and we are going to draw an oval. And just like with our police officer, that is going to be his or her nose. Then on each side, we're going to draw a circle. Try to make them as even as you can, but I totally understand that it's hard to do that. And then we're going to make a little half circle inside the circle. Now later, oops, sorry, I keep hitting that. When we move on to the Sharpie step, we will color this part in black. But right now, we're not worrying about that. Then we're going to give our firefighter a little smile. Okay. If you want to make it like how we did with our police officer and have their mouth partially open, you can do that. Or you can just leave it with the little smile line. Okay? Now we are going to draw the shape of his or her head, which is going to be a U. And for all of our essential workers in this series, we are starting off the same. It's the same essential style. Okay, I'm going to make this come up just a wee bit taller, so it's just a little above the eyes. And then I'm going to make a somewhat curved line that connects them. And notice that it sticks over just a bit. Okay? Now, again, we're not going to worry about whether it's a boy or girl too much right now, but the main difference would be the eyelashes or no eyelashes. Okay? And then right about where the eye is, just a little lower, we're going to make a C for the ear, and then a backward C for the other ear. We're going to make 2 curved lines for his or her hair, male or female, that doesn't change. Okay, and then we're working on the hat, or I guess for firefighters it would technically be a helmet, wouldn't it? But it's going to start right here on the ear, and it's going to come up and then curve over like that. Okay, same thing on the other side, right here on the ear, and it's going to come up and curve curve over. Okay, right now it looks kind of funny. It reminds me of strawberry shortcake right now, if you know who that is. I'm gonna make a line that connects these two, but the line is gonna kind of bulge up or make a little hill here. So it's gonna come across, up just a little, down, and over. When that's way too sudden. Make it a little more gradual. There we go. It doesn't look great, but it's better. Hopefully that didn't mess you up too much. Okay. And then for the next part of the hat, we're going to be drawing up here. And right about here, I'm going to make a line that comes out here and one again over here. Now again, here she looks really funny right now, but just bear with me. Okay, now we're going to connect these two with a line that is similar to this, where it just kind of comes up and back down and over to connect them. Okay, hopefully you're kind of starting to see the firefighter kind of style. Now right here where this little bulge is, I'm going to come out and down and stop here. Actually, I went too far over to the left. So I'm going to come down here. You're probably thinking, oh, it looks the same. But you know how it is. All right, and the same thing over here. I'm going to come out and down right here. Okay. All right, so next for our little firefighter, we are drawing the body. Now, kind of like if you've already done the police officer video with me, at first it looks really funny, and you're probably thinking she has no idea what she's doing right now, because it does not look like a body. It is just two straight lines coming down. But bear with me, and you will see what I'm talking about. I'm going to connect these two lines here. And then I'm going to draw a line that kind of goes down the middle here, and this is part of the firefighter's jacket or coat. I'm not sure what they call it. And then I'm going to draw a line that comes across. This is that reflective tape that they have that helps them be able to see each other in the fire. And I just drew two lines here. That is also some of the reflective tape. And then we're going to draw just a couple of little, it looks almost like nubs. These are like little feet slash legs. And I'm going to make a little line here and here. And then another line right above it. And right now it doesn't look like much. Looks like a jelly bean or an Easter egg, but when we color it, it'll make more sense. Then we're going to work on the arms. Okay. All right, and then we need reflective tape for the arms as well. Actually, first let's draw their hands. And they're just kind of little curved shapes also. Then we're going to do the reflective tape. They have lots of reflective tape on there. It's very important. I'm going to put some here too. All right. Oh, they look so cute. I love this. Okay, now this is where the difference would come in if you're going to do a man firefighter, a male one, or a female. If you are doing a male one, you would stop at this point. You would just leave it alone. If you're doing a female one, you would add eyelashes. And you would add hair. Now, technically, a firefighter wouldn't leave her hair hanging down, because I would think that would be pretty dangerous. But we are just pretending. And we're gonna pretend she's got it like in a little side ponytail. Oh, she's adorable. Okay, now we're ready to do the Sharpie. Okay, so again, just like you guys have done 1,000 times, we're going to trace right over our pencil line. And our job here is to basically disguise or hide the pencil. Someone should be able to look at your art and think that you drew it with a Sharpie. And they should be so impressed because they will think that's what you did the first time around. And sometimes being an artist is similar to being a magician because you use little tricks to make your art better. And you don't necessarily need to share those tricks with everyone that's looking at your art. Unless, of course, you're an art teacher, and then you do need to share those tricks because otherwise you can't teach. Now, just like with our police officer, we're going to color this part of the mouth in dark. And we're going to color this part of the eyes in dark. I'm going to try to smooth out that shape just a bit because it's pretty rough. Alright, and I still have the ears and the hair. And I think for the rest of it, I'm going to fast forward me doing the Sharpie and the erasing starting now. Okay, so now I finished my sharpening and I finished my erasing. And while I was sharpening and erasing, it made me realize I want to put something on this. I'm putting an F and an M and a D. And what do you think that stands for? It is Mansfield Fire Department. And I'm also going to go back to my little police officer friend over here and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put a P in the middle and an M and a D for Mansfield Police Department. Alright, so now we are ready to move on to the coloring. Okay, so again, I have my skin colored crayons that I pulled out of my crayon set. Just in case you didn't watch the police officer video, I was saying how I was trying to find the multicultural crayons at Target, and because of the quarantine I didn't have any luck. But what I did is I bought the biggest box of crayons that I could get, and I pulled out all the different tans and browns and peaches and whatnot, and this is what I came up with. So now I'm trying to decide what color I want to use. I'm intrigued by this one a little bit. It's called Tumbleweed. But I'm worried that's going to be a little too tan. Let me see, what is this one? Raw Sienna. Brown. Chestnut. I just like the sound of chestnut, so I'm going to go with that. So I'm going to color her skin. And again, you want to color neatly, nicely, evenly, and in one direction. The whites of his or her eyes, you want to stay white. Milo, be patient. My dog's wanting to go out on the balcony. He's not being very patient. For some reason, he doesn't understand that I'm recording. All right, so there, I've colored her face. I'm coloring her ears and her hands. Now, a firefighter would have gloves on to protect their hands. They wouldn't be walking around like that. But this is just for fun. All right. Oh, she's so cute. I just love her. All right, now I'm going to color the rest of her. Okay, for the rest of her, I am choosing to use markers. That does not mean that you have to use markers. You can color with anything you want. Crayons, colored pencils, markers, Sharpies, anything you want. And as always, you don't have to do the same colors that I'm doing. I'm choosing to do the reflective tape yellow. doesn't mean you have to do it that way. Okay, and I'm trying to decide what to color that. I'm a little torn between yellow and gray. The example I saw online, they used orange, but I think what I'm going to do is just hold off so I can have a little more time to think. I'm going to color her hair black, but notice I'm not using the black Sharpie. I'm using the Crayola black because it's just a little lighter than the other. That way it'll still have a little contrast, which means they look a little different. So like her little hair tie I did with the Sharpie. It may be hard to see the difference on camera, but in real life you can. She's so adorable. All right, now I'm gonna color the red on her jacket. And again, just like always, choose a direction and try to stick with it. All right, and I am going to fast forward for the rest of the coloring, starting now. Okay, so as you can see, she's completely finished and colored. Now, like with our police officer one, if you have a firefighter in your life, you might want to give this to them or send a picture of it to them, since you may not be able to see them in person unless they're your parent. But we definitely need to show our appreciation to them because they're definitely an essential worker during this time. I know for me, I am very thankful for the fire department. When my youngest son was a baby, he actually got his leg stuck in his crib and I couldn't get it out. And so my older son, who was only 3 at the time, called 911, gave them our address and our name and let the firefighters in, and they came in and pried back the wood on his crib so that they could get his leg out and saved him. And it was very scary, but he ended up being just fine, and we were so grateful. And they got there so fast. I still don't know how they got there that fast. So we definitely need to show our appreciation for them, because when we do need them, we really need them. And so it's very nice to have them around. So be sure you show your appreciation for the firefighters in your life. Okay, for this one, we are doing a postal worker. This could be you know, like the United States Postal Service, mailmen, mailwomen, UPS, FedEx, Amazon Prime. Right now they're all very essential for us to still be able to get the things that we need. So I'm gonna have, again, my paper going up and down, I have a pencil, and I'm starting off right in the middle of my paper, okay? So I am going to start off with his or her nose. It's just, like I said before, a little oval. And then I'm gonna draw a circle on each side. And unless this is the first video you've clicked on, you should know by now that that is going to be their eyes. And I'm going to do a half circle inside. Now the 2 eyes are very uneven, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. Then I'm going to do just a simple smile, and then a U for the shape of the face. Now we're not going to worry about if it's a boy or a girl right now. We're going to deal with that closer to the end of our video, or not, well, my video, but your drawing. Now I'm going to draw an ear on each side. Okay. Then we're going to bring both of these up just a wee bit taller. And this one I have going off kind of in another direction for some reason, so I'm going to kind of fix that. All right. And then I am going to connect both of these ends with a straight line, and that's eventually going to become their hat. In fact, I'm going to do the little visor part of their hat. Now, I'm pretty sure UPS and FedEx both wear hats. If you are doing that for somebody that you know and love, you might want to look it up first. Of course, if it's your mom or dad, you know if they do. Now, hopefully you're still paying attention. I'm going to do a little circle right here. And then we're going to have two lines come out, an angle, okay? Then I'm looking for the middle. Start with the middle of my nose, and I go up, and I'm going to put a dot right about here, okay? And then I'm going to use it. I'm going to start at the dot and come down and curve to connect here. Same thing over here. Down and curve and connect right there. Okay? Again, mine looks just a bit uneven. Trying to not worry about that too much. Okay, now I'm going to add the hair. And again, we don't have to worry yet about if it's a boy or a girl. Then I'm going to add the body. And again, if this just happens to be the first one video you're clicking on, the body does start out looking very odd, but just bear with me. Don't give up. That's going to be like the collar of his or her shirt. And then their uniform. Now, UPS and FedEx, they wear more just a short sleeve shirt with a collar. This is going to be, if they're a postal worker, for the UPS Postal Service, like a little bag that they're going to wear. And then their shorts. In Texas, they probably wear shorts the majority of the time, I would imagine. And then you have their little adorable little feet. Okay, and then we're going to do some arms. Very essential for the job. And then kind of comes in a little bit with the sleeve. Now, if your arms ended up being really close to the body, you don't have to draw this part. Mine always end up kind of far out. So I have to draw the other side of the arm. Right. Now we're going to draw the little bag. This is for the kind of postal carriers that they come up and they go door to door. We don't have a whole lot of those here where we live. I think there's some in the older part of Mansfield, but not a whole lot. And then over in this hand, what do you think he's going to be, or he or she is going to be holding? It is an envelope. So maybe they're about to go put this in someone's mailbox. He just took it out of his bag and he's going to put it in someone's mailbox. And notice the little lines that I did. This postal carrier is so cute. Okay, so now this is the point where I decide if it's going to be a man or a woman or a boy or a girl. If it's going to be a man, just stop right here. Exactly where you're at. Don't do anything else to it. If you want it to be a female or a girl, add the little eyelashes. Okay. And then maybe add some hair. Oh my goodness, this is so cute. I'll say that with each and every one of them, but they are so cute. And so now you have your little female postal carrier. And one thing I just thought of that I do want to give her, and I haven't done this on any of my other ones, but a little earring. There we go. And of course you can make the earring any way you want. You could also give her maybe a necklace. You wouldn't see a whole lot of it here because of her uniform, but maybe just a little bit of something. But you know, could give her something to make her feel a little more girly. Okay, so now we are ready for our Sharpie, and to Sharpie over all of our pencil lines. And like our other essential worker pictures that we've done, we are tracing over all the pencil. When you're done tracing, any pencil that is still showing, whether you missed it or it's just peeking out or you realized you shouldn't trace there, you do want to erase it. Now for her, I gave her a closed mouth, just a simple smile. So I don't have to color anything in here, but I do need to color the eyes in. If you don't give your person, whatever it is you're drawing, that kind of dark part of their eye, they just don't look quite right. I always say they look kind of like little zombie people, and we definitely don't want that. These are supposed to be happy, thankful pictures. This is how we're showing the essential workers in the town where we live, which is Mansfield, or if you're watching from somewhere else where you live, this is how we show them our appreciation. And you don't show someone your appreciation by drawing a scary picture of them. It's not very nice. You want to try and do your best. We're trying to show these people that are keeping all of our towns and cities running that we appreciate them. All right, now I'm going to fast forward with the rest of my Sharpie and erasing beginning now. Okay, now we're going to begin coloring her. For her skin, I'm going to use peach. And again, I'm coloring in one direction. I want to leave the whites of her eyes white. And I'm trying to do, if you're, hopefully you're maybe choosing to draw all of the essential workers, but I'm trying to use different skin colors on each one. I accidentally got her eye there. Hopefully you will do the same. The world is made up of all different kinds of people. So hopefully your essential workers will be also, because otherwise it would be a very dull, boring place. All right, so now I got her skin colored. Now I'm going to color the rest of her. Okay, so I am choosing to use markers on mine. You do not have to use markers. You could again use colored pencils, crayons, Sharpies, whatever it is you have. Paint, if that's what you have. Prismacolors. You know, again, beggars can't be choosers. So there's her hat, and her shirt is going to be the same color, and I'm just realizing I didn't give her a color to her shirt. So I'm going to take my Sharpie and I am going to fix that. And basically it's just two little lines there. And then I'm going to put yellow, this little kind of badge or whatever it is there. I'm going to give her blonde hair. So I've done brown hair, I've done black hair, I've done blonde hair, and on my next one I'll do some red hair. Again, I'm just trying to give a good variety to all of my essential worker people. Alright, and there's her little bag. And now the rest of her uniform. Yeah, one thing I wonder is what you guys are planning to be when you grow up. Are any of you planning to be an essential worker? Like, you know, mail carrier, trash collector, doctor, nurse, UPS, FedEx, anyone in a grocery store. One thing we realized recently that I think most Americans haven't thought about is how essential our grocery store workers are. Alright, and there she is. Absolutely adorable and precious. So there's our postal worker, And I am extremely grateful for all of our postal workers, and not just UPS or USPS, United States Postal Service, but also UPS and FedEx. My oldest son is at college right now, and his college is right outside of New Orleans. So New Orleans is one of the most dangerous places you can be right now with coronavirus. So instead of sending them home, they basically just closed the gate to the campus and put them on lockdown, which I agree with. But as a result, he has not left his campus in over a month, which means you can't go get deodorant, toilet paper, toothpaste, things like that. So my mom and I have been mailing him the essentials that he needs. And if it wasn't for our postal workers, he would not be able to get the essentials that he needs. So we are extremely grateful that all these delivery services are still running, and that my son can get the things he needs. And then we can also mail him, little treats like cookies and candy and things like that. So it's just one thing you don't think about until you're literally stuck somewhere like my poor son. So if you are any kind of postal worker, I am so grateful for you, especially if you're in the New Orleans area, and of course Mansfield, because that's where I live. So thank you all, and share your picture if you have someone in your life that works for UPS, USPS, FedEx, Amazon. Tell them how much you appreciate them, okay? Thanks. Okay, so for this one, this is a very, another hero essential worker that gets overlooked quite a bit, and those are our grocery store employees. They have been working so hard to make sure that we can go to the store and get the items that we need and bring them home, so we have everything that we need to eat and drink and cook and grill. So, and without them, that would not be possible. So just like with the other ones, our paper is going to be going up and down. We're going to start in the middle, and we're going to start with his or her nose. So I've got a little oval there, and then we're going to do the eyes. And keep in mind, we could probably go on all day long talking about essential workers that there are out there. But these all start out basically the same, with the eyes, the nose, the mouth, the shape of the head, and then you take it from there to turn it into what you want it to be. Our garbage collectors are also essential workers. EMTs are essential workers. We could just go on and on and on and on. So keep that in mind. All right, so I did the face, the ears, and then notice I'm bringing this up just a little bit higher, but not too much, okay? Then I am going to kind of bring it up and over, kind of like we did with our doctor. And then I am going to draw like a cap. And then, because he or she is wearing like a baseball cap. Okay. And then we'll have the hair over here on the side. And then you could put the store that you want. My first one that I did, made it Kroger. We could do Target, Walmart, Tom Thumb. There's so many. HEB. I'm going to put HEB because it is short and sweet. And if you're sitting there going, what is HEB? That is a grocery store in Burleson. All right, now we're going to do the body just like with the other ones. We're going to bring 2 lines down. Then we're going to connect the bottom with a straight line. And we are going to draw his or her feet. Okay, kind of gave him squared off toe there. All right, now he or she needs some arms. I say he ought to have it. Just some simple hands. All right, and then this person is going, first of all, they're going to have a V-neck on. And I'm going give them a collar, like it's a button-down shirt. Now I'm not going to go too far down with the buttons, and you'll see why in a minute. Because this person, that'll work. This person is wearing, not overalls, an apron. Like what I wear at work sometimes, to protect their clothes when they're stocking and shelving and checking people out. And give them some pockets. And they're wearing a little name tag. So you can go up to them and say, hey, where can I find the pistachios? All right, and wow, drew him kind of quick. All right, so the next step is good old Sharpie. Okay, so I have my black Sharpie ready. And just like always, I'm going to trace over all my lines and letters. Anything that's left, I will erase it. And of course, the dark parts of the eyes, I will color in black. Okay? Now, I'm not going to make you sit here and watch me outline things, so I'm going to fast forward starting now. Okay, so now it's time to color his or her skin. And these are the crayons I haven't used yet. These are the ones that I have already used. So I'm putting them over to the side because I want some variety. And my choices are tan, which I'm leaning towards that right away. Brown, burnt raw sienna, and I've already used a burnt sienna, so they're very similar, so I'm going to put that over to the side. Sepia, peach. The peach is too much like apricot, so I'm going to put it over to the side. Brown is a lot like the chestnut, so I'm going to go with the tan. And again, let's see if this can be the one person I don't accidentally color the whites in their eyes. Again, choose a direction. I really like this color. It's nice. Again, you want to have some variety. You don't want all the people to look exactly the same, because that would be dull. Just like you wouldn't use only, like you have this nice big box of crayons, I wouldn't use just one of them and ignore the rest. Coloring his hands and his neck, and that's pretty much it. Okay, so now it's time to color the rest of him. And again, I am choosing to use markers. You can use crayons, colored pencils, markers, Sharpies, whatever you choose. And I'm giving him black hair. And I actually, since we don't have an HEB in Mansfield, I have no idea what their colors are. I just know about HEB because my other cousin, Cammie, works there. She's a cashier. And I know one of our awesome parents we have at our school is a personal shopper from there. But I have no idea what the colors are for them, so I'm just making it up. And I am making his apron green. Trying to kind of go around his name tag. I guess I could have texted my cousin and asked her, but she's probably at work right now, so I don't want to bother her. That's funny, I didn't think about how one of my cousins is an essential worker with nursing, and another cousin is an essential worker with the grocery store. Another one of my cousins, her name's Kay, or Mrs. Ford. She is a teacher like me. She's actually a reading specialist now. And that is certainly important. Another cousin of mine is a pastor. He's actually overseas right now doing mission work. All right, now I'm gonna give this guy a pink shirt, but I'm realizing you would see just a little bit of his pants here. So I'm making a line there. And like I said, he is going to be wearing a pink shirt because he is very confident in his masculinity. Because real men wear pink. And don't let anyone ever tell you otherwise. This little guy is so cute. I meant to make him a woman so I can have a male one and a female one, but it will. We'll all survive. And then maybe some blue jeans. Surely they let them wear blue jeans to work. I hope so. And now he is all colored and ready to go. Now again, if you have someone in your life that works at a grocery store in any kind of position, send them a picture of it or give them this picture. Like I know I have 2 students that your mom is a personal shopper. You could make it look like her. I could even though it's technically done, I could go back in and I could add eyelashes. And I could give her, this mom usually wears a messy bun, but we'll pretend that she's wearing her hair down today. Maybe she's feeling fancy. And she doesn't really have black hair. She has brown hair, but I already started calling that other one black. But I'm going to, since again, I can't see this cousin either, but I can text her. I can take a picture of it and I can text it to her and tell her that we appreciate her. And thank you for working, even though it's a little risky right now. But without them, we would all be pretty hungry right now. Like my family, we just had a really awesome dinner. My husband made us homemade pizzas. We wouldn't have been able to have that without our grocery store workers. Okay, for our next essential worker, we are drawing the most essential workers, doctors and nurses. Okay, so we're going to start out with his or her face, just like all the others. Our paper's going up and down. We're starting right in the middle, and we start with his or her nose. It's just a little oval. And then on each side, we're going to make a circle. And again, if you don't get them even, don't worry, mine are never even. And then we're going to do a half circle inside. And again, later, we will color that in black. And later, you will decide if it's a boy or a girl. Then we're going to draw the shape of his or her face. Notice I have not done a mouth. And in a second, you will see why. Now I'm going to do the ears. Notice where the ears are in comparison to the eyes. Okay? Now the reason I didn't do the mouth is because we are going to draw their mask. Because you know, we all know about masks lately, because even regular people like us are wearing them. But it's going to start right here at the top of the ear and go over here. And it's just a curved line that kind of comes down and back up like that. Okay? But wait, there's more. Okay, then right about here, kind of under the nose, I'm going to draw a line that comes down a little bit of an angle here and here. Okay, then 2 more lines. This one's going to start right here and go up to the bottom of the ear. And this one, same thing. So those are the little strings that go around their ears. And this is what covers their mouth. And I just realized we're not covering their nose, but in real life, they would of course have their nose covered. Okay, now continuing, our doctor or nurse needs a top to their head. So I'm going to make this line right here. It's going to come up and over and down and connect with this side. Okay? Then right about here, I'm going to make a line that comes across. That's the little hat that you'll see doctors, especially surgeons, using to cover their head and be sterile. Then we'll make just a little bit of hair kind of peeking out below their hat and going behind their ear. And then they have just the little where the fabric kind of gathers a little bit on their head. All right. Okay, now our doctor needs a body, of course. So we're gonna make 2 lines that just come straight down. And I say this in every video, but right now you're gonna have that moment of like, what is she doing? Just bear with me. I'm gonna connect these 2 lines. The line's gonna be at a little bit of a curve, okay? Then I'm gonna come up here and you're gonna have the collar, because scrubs usually have that. Sometimes they have a V-neck, but sometimes they're a curved neck, almost like a t-shirt. And then we're gonna make their little ID badge and the little hook that holds it on. Maybe you could even do some little fake writing in there. And then some legs. It's like a tall, long U. And you have the little shoes there. Okay, now our doctor needs some arms. We're gonna have this one, all our other ones have had the arms down to their side, so we're gonna have him or her waving. So I do 2 lines side by side, and I'm gonna close them off and make a cuff. And then we're just gonna make a real simple hand, just a thumb, almost like a little mitten. Okay, and of course our doctor or nurse will be wearing gloves. And then on this side, they're gonna have a clipboard. So I'm drawing that coming out. I'm gonna make the little part that clips and a little piece of paper and some fake writing. And then we need the arm coming down like it's he or she's holding it, and you see just a wee little bit of their hand there. Okay, so you got the clipboard overlapping the arm, and you got the body overlapping the clipboard. Okay, and those are real good things to use whenever you are creating, is overlapping and underlapping. Okay, now this is the point where you want to decide if your doctor or nurse is a man or a woman. If you want your doctor or nurse to be a man, you're gonna leave it alone, exactly the way it is. If you want it to be a woman, you're gonna add some eyelashes. And you could make some hair coming down. Now, in reality, I think most doctors would have her hair pulled back because it would be a lot cleaner that way, but you never know. But then that way, now it's kind of crooked again. I'm not good at drawing off to the side, but you get the idea. Now it is time to Sharpie. Okay, so I'm gonna take my Sharpie and I'm gonna trace over everything I just made, cover up all my pencil, and just like always, if any pencil is still showing after I do the Sharpie, I am going to erase it. Okay. Now you've seen this, if you've been watching all my videos, you've seen this Sharpie step several times. So I'm gonna go ahead and fast forward now. Okay, now it's time to color her skin. So I'm gonna get out all of my skin colored crayons, and I need to choose a color. And again, I'm trying to keep some variety. That was my postal person, my police officer, and my firefighter. Okay, so I believe I used, I think it might have been apricot for her, and I think I used burnt sienna for her, and I know I used chestnut for one of them. Okay, so this leaves me with, I'm gonna give this tumbleweed a try. I have no idea how it's gonna look, but I'm gonna give it a try. Try it out on her ear. And I'm around the mask. I'm not going to color on the mask. The mask is going to be a different color. And maybe you want to try to leave the white parts of the eye white. Now, if you have skin colored markers, you can use those as well. But I am a fan of, for the skin, using a crayon because it just has a softer look to it. With the marker, if you're using it on their face and stuff, you have to pretty much get it almost perfect or it just doesn't look quite right. I think I've done that on at least one of my eyes, on every single one of my essential workers. Thank goodness for erasers. And I wonder how many of you didn't know you can erase crayon. Alright, so now we've got her skin done. Now I've got that's kind of like a scrub color. The gloves, the shoe protectors, the badge, the paper, and the mask are all going to stay white. These are going to be color of the scrubs. And her hair, she is going to be a redhead. So I'm coloring her hair. Because again, I'm trying to get some variety in all my people. Okay, now I am going to go ahead and fast forward through the rest of the coloring, starting now. Okay, so now as you can see, I finished coloring her. And if you have someone in your life that is a doctor, a nurse, EMT, anything in the medical field, maybe you can reach out to them, give this picture to them, or send a picture of it to them. I know my cousin, her name is Taylor. She just graduated from college. She graduated from Tarleton in December, so just a few months ago. And now she is an ER nurse in Fort Worth. And we're extremely proud of her. But we also, we worry about her too because of everything that's going on right now. Because what a time to be starting your career. But we're very proud of her. Obviously, I cannot go see her in person right now, but I can at least take a picture of this and send it to her. So anyone in your life that you have, or even if it's just, you know, having your parents put it on social media and say thank you to all our healthcare heroes. But basically just in some way show your appreciation. Okay, so now that we have all of our essential workers complete, we want to eventually get them all together on one piece of paper if possible. Okay, so this is the example that I made ahead of time. These are the examples I made while we were filming. So what you're going to do is you're going to take each one and cut it out. If it is hard for you to cut, especially our younger friends, kinder, first grade, even some of our second graders, you could just cut yours out like this. You're basically just cutting it out like an oval, because you're going to glue it or tape it onto just a piece of white paper anyway, assuming you have white paper. So you could do it this way. Or those of you that are older, or if you consider yourself pretty good at cutting, you can go and literally cut them out exact. When I did this one, the one with all of my male essential workers, I cut them out. But if you want to do the oval, there's nothing wrong with that. It may get a little challenging when you're overlapping here, but maybe you could trim off some of that oval a little more as you're doing it, or maybe you can make it where they're kind of coming out from the paper a little bit. You can kind of experiment with that. Use your creativity and your problem solving skills. But basically, we're going to cut all of our little essential workers out, okay? And so I am going to fast forward to cut mine out. You can hit pause right now until you are done cutting theirs out and then come back. Okay, so now I have all my little essential workers cut out. And so now I want to glue them all together on a piece of paper. Okay, now keep in mind this could be any kind of paper. bigger the better, but I know we're kind of limited on what we all have at home. And of course you're going to be overlapping. I am going to choose 2 of my little friends here. I think I'm going to do my police officer and my firefighter. And I'm going to put these 2 lovely ladies right up towards the top and kind of evenly spaced out towards the middle. And I'm going to use my glue stick to do that. You could also do bottled glue. You could also do tape, like if you only have tape, you know. And also keep in mind, you could just keep these on the paper that you drew them on. You don't have to have them all together. I just like having them all together because it's kind of like a little poster. So I'm putting glue on the back. So you may or may not be able to see that, but I used my glue stick and I put glue on the back. And I'm putting her on there, trying to keep her somewhat straight. Smooth her out. So you can see she's on there. She's so cute. All right, now I'm going to glue my little firefighter friend. Same thing. And whenever you're using a glue stick like this, especially here in Texas, you want to do quite a bit of glue. Get all the little edges and sections and parts, because in Texas it gets really humid, and when it gets really humid, anything that's glued on with a glue stick tends to pop off. So you want to really get it stuck down. All right, so now I have these 2 adorable ladies on there. They're so cute. I know I keep saying it, but I just can't stand it. All right, now we're going to do our little nurse doctor friend. And I'm going to put her in the middle. And I'm going to fast forward for the rest of the gluing, because I think most of us have the concept of gluing and using a glue stick. So I am going to fast forward the rest of my gluing starting now. Okay, so now I have my essential worker heroes. I didn't intentionally, or at least I didn't mean to put all the girls on one and all the boys on another. It just kind of happened accidentally. But at least that way you can see the difference and how it might look. For example, our grocery store hero. You can see the Kroger one is the boy and the HEB one is the girl. And same thing with our male person and our firefighters and our police officers. The other difference is on this one, I colored it with crayons. I used Sharpie and crayon. On this one, I used Sharpie, crayon, and Crayola markers. So that way you can kind of see, depending on what kind of look you're going for. This has kind of a softer look. This has more of a bold look, and you may just need to use what you have. You may not have an option, but that's how they turned out. And like I said, I really encourage you to somehow reach out to the people in your life that have these jobs. And again, there's other jobs too, warehouse workers, garbage collectors, people that work in offices behind the scenes to make sure things keep running, all kinds of jobs. So keep that in mind. You could draw the basic person on any of these and you could change their job and share it. And I was kind of thinking about making like a little PowerPoint or a little movie with your pictures that you end up making. If you want to be included in that movie, take a picture of yours or a video. Send it to me. You can send it to me via email. If I'm Facebook friends with your parents, you can send it to me on Facebook Messenger. And of course, you can use Flipgrid. If you don't want to be included in the movie, it's totally fine. If you're on that no photo list that we have, obviously you won't be in that. You can be included in it. You could be holding it up and going, here's my picture of my essential workers, and I'm going to say hi to my mom, you know. Or if you don't want to be in it, you could just show the picture. It is up to you, okay? And that is basically it. I'm so glad you came here today, and I am looking forward to seeing your essential heroes.